Yes, people, nice and decent people. Today, I'm going to talk about the contribution of the household to crime in the country. It is very common in this place, in this country, to blame um, politics and politicians solely or most of the time for the crime in the country. I am one of those who vehemently disagree that the burden of crime should be placed on our government. The way we know that handling and dealing with the crime situation is a holistic approach that we have to take from the house to where people work, to where they go to church, to the communities. But sometimes people are not objective in the way they analyze situations. One of the places that is the breeding ground for crime is the household. It has a lot to do sometimes with the way that the person is taught, the way the person is brought up, the way the person is treated at home. I just want to use this simple analogy to explain something. When God created the heavens and the earth, after He created the earth, He created human beings. Now, He named the Homo sapien, He called it man. He called us man. That's the name that He gave us. And He used that name because the name goes with certain activities. Man, the human being, would be taking care of the earth, would be responsible for ensuring that things go well on the earth. When you create a car, you design a car, you engineer a car. A car is a distance multiplier. You design the car so that it can take you places in a very short space of time. It multiplies distance. When you create the refrigerator, you wanted something to keep your food cool or to freeze it, and so you designed the box with that in mind. So you name things based on the functionality of the things that you want. Based on what you want it to do, that's how you name it. Similarly, when you name a child, you name a child based, or it should be that you name a child based on the outlook that you want for that person. Although these days sometimes you find people naming children and they have no idea what the name means. There is a certain boy who has a name, and the name means the root, the meaning of that name is disaster. And I told the mother that that boy's name is not an appropriate name. That name means disaster. So if the maker is the person that really knows the product and is the authority and they determines the outcome of that product. So similarly, as a parent, the parent knows the product, made the product, and or the child, and decides that this is the name and this is the outcome. So when a parent, I've heard over my lifetime, and it was more prevalent before, but I've heard parents calling their child, using that word en viole. En viole. I've heard them people saying, ou sa man en viole même ko papa ou. I've heard people saying, ou oblige chou an moun, like you must kill somebody. There's a man who would tell his son, like anytime he gets very angry at his son, he would tell his son, Usama Juif. Now I know what the word Juif means, but the context or the degree or the context that he really intended, I up to this point I do not know, but I know that it is nothing good that he had in mind. I am saying all of that to say that the words that people speak at their homes as it relates to their children or concerning their children, and even the very names that they give, has a lot to do with their outcome in life. And how it is, how can it be that somebody has their own child and they would call their child the R word, or they would say that this child, when they get angry, oh, Bridget Wamun, or whatever, and say all manner of bad things about that child. So what happened is, even from the very mother or the mouth of the father, the child is being actually programmed for negativity already from the home. The child is being labeled something very unfavorable, just thus developing or helping that child or putting in a bad or poor self-esteem in that child. And so when these people go out there with this poor self-esteem, self-worth, it will be easier for them to get involved in things that are not good, because it is already programmed in their mind that they mean nothing much, they have no value. And so if there is no value, anything are anything, and then they do anything. It is of paramount importance that people understand those things and realize that the words that you speak concerning your own child has detrimental effects on the outcome of that individual. You have to speak words of positivity, words that build up children, words that will build them up, words that will encourage them even from the time that they're small. Because if you program the child from the time that the child is small into positive thoughts, wholesome thoughts, when the individual go out there, they will have a better outlook on life. They would have heard positive reinforcements at their home, thus being able to deal with situations out there. There are some people, as soon as they something happens, it results in a situation where harm is being done. They do harm, they do damage, or they allow damage to be done to them or disrespect to them because they have been devalued at their homes. So one of the prongs that we need to use to help curb crime in this place is for the parents to deal respectfully to their children, speak to them, speak positive words of affirmation, encourage them that they can do great things, build them up from the house, and then we will have a better situation, a better outcome as we deal with this crime situation in the place, in the community, in the country. Keep the fire burning.